Right now, we're following a fire burning in East County, a couple miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. It started off Coyote Hollow Road near Potrero. People living there are being ordered to evacuate tonight. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jesse Pagan. Carlo Chiquetto is off tonight. The Coyote fire is now 400 acres and 0% contained. A temporary shelter is set up at Mountain Empire High School in Pine Valley for people evacuating. CBS 8's Steve Fiorina has been on the scene all afternoon. He's live with what we know right now. Steve?
We have moved, Jesse. We are a little bit farther, I'm guessing, to the west, and you can see the progress they've made. As you said, it's grown now from 100 to 200, now to 400 acres. We see a lot of white smoke. That is a pretty good indication that a lot of the flames have gone out, but I can still see some flames up very top of that one crest up there. Just below it, you can see the pink on the rocks, the fire retardant that was dropped earlier that knocked out a lot of those flames. Below it, we get our first chance to see some of the homes and other outbuildings that were threatened. Those are the people that were told that they needed to evacuate, and they have moved out. We've also spoken with people coming out here to try it from the volunteers to help with the rescue of animals, any horses, cows, that type of thing. As you can see, the planes, the helicopters, still very much in effect. Let's show you some close-ups of earlier when they were making some of those helicopter drops. This is firefighting at its absolute most succinct. The air battle is extremely central to making sure that these types of fires are controlled. Again, 400 acres. We spoke with one man who says he's been caught 4 times as he's lived out here.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. You come out and you scan the area and you know your topography of the area that you're in, and you're like, okay, if the wind changes, it's going to come this way. I have this much time. The last time we had less than 5 minutes to get out. And if it wasn't for the neighbor plowing his field, we would have lost everything.
They are still working the fire and will for a number of hours into the evening. We have no idea when the evacuation order may be lifted, but it certainly won't be for quite a while. We'll stay on top of this, bring you the latest as it occurs. Live at Potrero, Steve Fiorina, CBS 8.
We've seen that fire double over the past couple hours from 200 acres that you mentioned, now 400 acres. Hopefully the aerial attacks are making a big difference and they're able to slow that forward spread. Thanks so much, Steve.
We're going to stay on top of CBS 8 for the latest, or go to our website, cbs8.com.
Right now, a hurricane is moving towards Southern California, bringing heavy rain and strong winds. Hurricane Hilary is now a Category 3, but will likely weaken before it hits the U.S.
Still, the storm could impact millions of people throughout the region with significant flooding. Experts say people should get food and water, even sandbags, before this weekend and get everything ready to go. Here's the current path for Hilary as of right now. It's moving north from Mexico. It could make landfall here in San Diego early Monday morning.
CBS 8 Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis joins us now.
Carlene and the team has been tracking the storm for the past couple of days. Carlene, what do we know at this point?
You've got a better look at it right there.
Yeah, so we are talking about it now upgrading to a major hurricane. That's a Category 3. It's expected to strengthen even more as it moves over much warmer waters just towards the south of us, becoming a Category 4 hurricane in just the next day or so. But then it does look to weaken, but it has a small window of opportunity when it comes to that. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at what I'm talking about. You have a Category 3 hurricane right now with Hilary. It is tracking towards the west-northwest at about 14 miles per hour. It has maximum sustained wind speeds at 120 miles per hour, over 400 miles south of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. It will continue to move towards the north. That is what's going to make it even stronger. You're talking about a Category 4 by tomorrow at 11 a.m. because those sea surface temperatures, that water, you're talking about the 80s, even threatening 90 90s in some spots as it continues to maintain that strength all the way through Saturday morning. But when I talk about the timing when it comes to this, so we typically don't talk about having direct impacts when it comes to tropical cyclones for us here in Southern California. But the latest forecast track does have it as a Category 2 near Imperial Beach. That would be in the overnight hours from going Sunday night all the way into Monday morning. The major concern here is regardless of where it does track. Just yesterday, the forecast cone was showing as a tropical storm. Now it's showing it potentially as a Category 2 hurricane. Because it's such a big storm system, you're talking about the size of Texas, no matter where you're at in Southern California, you will have effects. You will have impacts. You're talking about a lot of heavy rainfall and some strong winds. It will continue to track towards the north, becoming a tropical depression, potentially as it is a Category 2 hurricane closer towards us. That means maximum sustained wind speeds up to 100 miles per hour. Then it will go rapidly down to about 30 miles per hour as a tropical depression near the LA area around 11 in the morning, and then rain itself out over Northern California, also seeing some impacts when it comes to heavy rain for Nevada. We do have some headlines when it comes to this, the timing of everything. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that coming up in your complete forecast. Jesse?
All right, Carlene, thank you for the latest on Hurricane Hilary and how you can prepare. Make sure to download our free CBS 8 app. You can head to cbs8.com as well.
A Camp Pendleton Marine accused of having sex with a 14-year-old girl in his barracks was identified for the first time today during a preliminary hearing on base.
Avery Rosario walked into military court in handcuffs. As CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, his defense team argued the girl pretended to be 21 on the dating app Tinder and then told Rosario she was 22.
The military has been doing everything they can to combat sexual assault.
Private First Class Avery Rosario was flanked by his defense attorneys as he walked into a military courtroom Thursday morning on base at Camp Pendleton. No cameras were allowed in the preliminary hearing where a judicial officer has to decide if there is probable cause to support sexual assault charges against Rosario involving a 14-year-old girl found inside his barracks. The entire case hinges on whether the Marine knew she was underage.
It is a legal defense if he reasonably believed that she was of age.
Gary Barthel is a military law attorney who is not associated with the case. In court, the Marines' defense team argued the girl had an account on the dating app Tinder where she used a fake name and said she was age 21. The defense said when the accused Marine actually asked her how old she was, told him she was 22.
Their argument, obviously, to the preliminary hearing officer is that probable cause should not be found in this particular case because there's no reliable or credible evidence establishing that the accused knew that she was underage at the time that he had sexual contact with her.
The girl had been missing from her Spring Valley home for more than 2 weeks when she was found in the barracks on June 28th. Military prosecutors made no oral arguments whatsoever during the hearing, choosing instead to file written evidence and exhibits with the court, including text messages between the girl and the Marine, a videotaped interview with the teenager, and images of the girl's Tinder account. That made for a fairly one-sided hearing where only the defense gave a closing argument, saying the sex was consensual and multiple Marines in the barracks, including the accused, believed the girl was an adult.
It's not only that he reasonably believed that she was of age, but there were other witnesses who also believed that she was of age.
The preliminary hearing officer is expected to issue a recommendation by the beginning of September. Then it will be up to a commanding officer to make the final decision as to whether the case goes to court-martial. At Camp Pendleton, David Goffredson, CBS 8.
All right, David, thank you. Now to our coverage of the growing problem of sky-high surprise water bills.
CBS 8 is working for you to find out what's going on, what you can do about it, and how the city is working to fix the problem. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes went to work for one man in San Diego who says he hasn't received a water bill since last year. Kirsten?
Yeah, we have received so many emails from viewers since our first story aired of the man in San Carlos that got that $11,000 water bill. People are telling us that they either have not received a water bill at all in a while or their water bill is a lot higher than what it's supposed to be, and they're not getting a whole lot of help from the city. So we went to work for you on this story. We took a look at water bills and water meters, and we heard back from the city of San Diego, but what they had to say may surprise you.
The November bill was $487, so that's why I was obviously very concerned.
CK Littlewood lives in this 900 square foot home with his wife and says he doesn't understand why his bill more than doubled last November.
I immediately thought there's a leak somewhere, so I went out to the water meter, and I'm familiar with how they work, so I opened the cover and noted that the little flower was not spinning, which indicates water going through the system. So there's not a leak. So I've called probably 8 times since last November. No response from them and no response to my email. I have not gotten a bill since that bill. I was watching your story on the gentleman that got an $11,000 bill. My wife looked at me and said, let's hope the next bill we get is not for thousands and thousands of dollars.
With little to no response from the city, CK is left waiting like so many other San Diegans who tell CBS 8 they are going through the same thing. We reached out to the city of San Diego. They refused to go on camera, but we got this email response back to our questions about what is happening with the water bills. We let CK take a look at what the city had to say.
The answer from the utility is currently more than 90% of public utilities customers receive timely bills. Due to staffing challenges,
the city goes on to say they are planning to deploy smart water meter readers throughout the city of San Diego to help, but that will take years. In the meantime, CK says he still has questions.
Why does it take so long to contact someone? I can understand a month, maybe 2, but I've literally not had a bill for almost 11 months. Scared to see what the bill will be when eventually they do generate a bill.
The city of San Diego says they are working on an IT enhancement that will let customers know when there is a problem with their water bill that they need to be aware of. For the city of San Diego's full response to this issue, go to our website, cbs8.com, and click on this story. Now, here at CBS 8, we are not letting up on this story, and we are going to continue asking your questions until we get your answers. Working for you, I'm Kirsten Holmes for CBS 8.
Kirsten Holmes, thank you very much. Continuing our coverage of all of that. Now, the one man who got that $11,000 bill, he found out it was because of a leak. So we're working for you on that corner as well.
CBS 8's Abby Alford, Abby Black shows us how you can read your own meter and check for leaks, even if you're not getting a bill from the city of San Diego. Abby?
There could be many reasons why your water bill's so high. We're working for you on how you can accurately read your water meter and if there's any leaks. The first thing you're going to want to do is locate that concrete block that's near the curb in front of your home or in front of your business. That also can be found out in the alley. Using a screwdriver, you can remove the concrete lid. To give us more room to read it, I'm going to remove the entire lid, which is pretty heavy. You want to clear out the area to make sure there's no harmful bugs and then wipe down the screen. All City of San Diego meters measure water in cubic feet. So let's break down what that means. This meter reads 265607. That's the amount of water that's been used since this meter was installed. Now, for these purposes, the city says to ignore the last 2 digits in black, 07.
Be vigilant about checking your meter and document it so you can cross-check it with your bill. To break down your usage, we've helped you do the math. Just go to cbs8.com.
Now let's check for any leaks. And the most important step is to make sure that you don't have any water on. And that includes you don't have the dishwasher, your ice maker, or you're not out watering the lawn. You have 2 indicators on your meter, this red hand and this triangle, and this is what's going to tell you if you have a leak or not. It's not moving, so that's good news. There's no leak at this meter. But if you observe it for a little bit and you notice that it slowly moves, that means you have a slow leak. Now, if it stops and then it starts, that means you have a leaky toilet or a leak in your pool or spa when the water's refilling and then stops. Now let's check the red hand on the meter. Take a picture of it, and after about 15 minutes, come back and take a picture again. If the dial did not move, that's a good sign, but you can also check after 4 hours to give you a more concrete answer. Now, if the dial did move, you're going to want to start checking those hose connections, faucets, and the toilets for water leaks. If you are positive that you do not have any leaks internally, you might have a hidden leak in an underground pipe. Check to see if you have any swampy or puddling landscape or unusual cracks in the pavement or flooring. If you do, you'll need to call a plumber to determine if it's on the city's end or your end. Working for you in Pacific Beach, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Great advice, Abby, on how people can kind of take matters into their own hands, since it seems like a lot of customers aren't getting regular bills, which would allow them to see that their usage is up. So again, great advice. And a reminder here at CBS 8, we are always working for you. If there's something you'd like us to look into, or if you have high water bills or you haven't gotten a bill in a while, email us workingforyou@cbs8.com.
And when we work for you, we get results. After the break, we have an update on a gate that needed to be replaced in Normal Heights.
And people in Tirasana are breathing a sigh of relief tonight after they were concerned about flammable plants overrunning their neighborhood.
Plus, mass evacuations in Canada after a wildfire is spreading rapidly in its Northwest Territories.